Good evening, welcome to As Yet Untitled. Tonight I'll be joined by my guests and we will be talking about, I don't know what, there's no preparation, there's no agenda, there's just conversation, and hopefully by the end of the conversation we'll have come up with a title for the show. That's our limited ambition for the evening, so please will you welcome our guests. Here they are, look at them. Aren't they good?
Feels so weird. I might do all my gigs like this from now.
You feel comfortable? I think you must. But let me just introduce everyone in case you don't know one another. This is Kerry, Godliman, an attractor of rabbits. We'll get into that. And it says here, a woman who failed to get herself into a coma. We've got Andrew Maxwell, who's once detained by the US military. We'll find out more of that. Yes. And who's extraordinarily proud of his lederhosen. Noel Fielding, a man who once disappeared from his own tour. And I'm delighted to welcome John Ronson here, who's documentary filmmaker. Best-selling author and spotter of psychopaths. That's one of your fortes.
I have. I've been assessing the audience already.
Do you feel like you have an aptitude for that nowadays?
Yeah, I'm a certified, and I've got a certificate for attendance because I did a 3-day course. Psychopath spotter. The statistic, by the way, is that 1 in 100 people is a psychopath, according to Robert Hare, the kind of king of psychopath spotting. So how many... Should we try that? OK, so item 1 on the checklist is grandiose sense of self-worth.
Absolutely.
And there's...
That's every comedian, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's true. There's a promiscuous sexual behaviour.
Wow, this is...
I always thought that was like...
the way it's just zero, didn't you know?
I always thought that was a funny one to have on the psychopath checklist, because, I mean, my promiscuously sexual days were quite a long time ago, but I do look back on them with some fondness, and I don't consider myself psychopathic in the least. There's glibness, superficial charm.
Absolutely.
But, right. Many short-term marital relationships. Give it time. There's...
What else is there?
Is it right?
Impulsivity, I'm sorry. Impulsive. Would you call yourself an impulsive person?
Yeah.
You were wearing the hairdressers, weren't you? We were speaking before the recording about Noel's got tinges of regret about his choice. I like it.
No, I asked for a Myra Hindley haircut.
Did they have the poster of her in the window?
Yeah.
So, hairstyles, you can go...
you could go Myra...
Yeah, there was basically her, Bucks Fizz, and Fabio. That was it.
You got it.
Flash Gordon. I had to pick one.
It's a lovely tinge.
I know, it's gone a bit ginge.
Have they done the tips? Is it different shades?
I went from black to this, which they said it couldn't be done. And I
You
said...
just waiting to prove them wrong.
I was so right. I want to ask you how you managed to... I mean, when it says disappeared from your own tour...
Yeah, I'm not a magician.
Did you make yourself...
David Copperfield.
Is this a long time ago? How long ago?
Yeah, it was about 5 years ago.
Not that long ago, then.
It was the Boosh big tour.
Right.
It was the party years. I was partying too hard. I went to a party after the show and I sort of disappeared and...
Where was the show? Do you
in
remember?
Brighton.
At the Dome?
And they couldn't find me and the tour manager was freaking out. And the next afternoon they found me in Brighton working in a shop.
What were you selling? What was the shop? What were you selling?
Primark or something like that?
It was a vintage second-hand shop.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
That's the first place I would have looked for you.
In the lanes, basically. Once you've partied and been found working in a shop, that's when you know you've got to knock the party years on the head. Basically, what happened was I met some people, and I don't know if I could even talk about this on television, but we were partying, and then someone suggested the idea of magic mushroom. And I remember there was one girl that said, no, I've got to go to bed. I've got to get up and open a shop in the lanes. I work in a clothes shop, and I've got the key and everything. I've got to open it and work there tomorrow. And I
Should
said...
explain that then, the lanes.
The lanes as in
a
the little...
really nice little area, Brighton, little narrow streets with cool shops in. It's quite groovy, isn't
Which
it?
I believe
groovy.
is where Leslie Ash and Phil Daniels have sex in Quadrophenia.
In Quadrophenia.
Yes. Yeah. I like that bit. And then... so basically this girl said, I've got to get up. And I said, we'll come with you. It'll be fine. Stay out and party with us. And then one by one, everyone disappeared off to bed. And I felt obliged. And so I think about 9 in the morning, we went to the lanes and opened the shop. And she passed out. I didn't really know what to do, so I just stayed...
Open the door and then just fall forwards into it.
I've never really had a proper job, so I just stayed in there and started...
Did you sell anything?
Loads of stuff, yeah. A poncho, a bag, 2 tops, some sunglasses.
Brilliant.
And people kept coming in and going, are you Noel Fielding? And I was going, no, everyone says that. I just look like him. Have you seen this bag? It's just bizarre, and I really got into it. And so it's like 9 in the morning, and I worked there all day until my tour manager turned up. Massive tour bus came outside. And they said, you can't... No, you can't work in a shop anymore. We've got to do a gig in Bristol tonight.
In Bristol? You had to go from Brighton to
somewhere
Bristol?
Like... I can't remember where we
Do you
were
feel
going.
like it was another life that you could have had?
It was I was really buzzing off it. Yeah, I loved it. But what was quite weird was I was sort of getting into it, and I didn't really know how to open the till. So I was
Quite key in a shop.
I know. I couldn't open the till, and I thought that I'm not really a shopkeeper material. And so I was putting the money in, like, envelopes and writing down what I'd sold. So I know, yeah. Got skills.
Genius.
And then about 1 o'clock, the woman who owned the shop came in to check on the girl, and I was just sitting behind there, and she just thought the shop was being robbed. And was like, what are you doing? And I went, well, I've sold a poncho, a bag, 2 pairs of shoes, and these are all the money in envelopes. She was like, OK. And
So
she went, where's the girl? And I just went, oh, she's there. Basically just looked like I'd killed her. So I was looking at
The rest of this episode will be on the 16th of June at 10 p.m. on Dave or Dave on Demand if you missed it. And now for extra stories that didn't make the show.
I lived with my hairdresser for 2 days.
Yeah. It's time-consuming.
Stayed there.
Because this isn't
Watch
real.
a
and
box set
when-
together.
It always takes a long time. And afterwards, I say, what is this? What have we achieved with our day? She says, it's sun-kissed, it's sun-kissed. Yes, I've made it sun-kissed. I think I'd rather look chemically fisted. I've been here about 14 hours.
But also, you can't...
Sorry.
I don't think that'll make
Noel.
it. That won't make it. But I just thought...
I never want to interrupt the conversation here because I always enjoy it, but I do want to go back on the phrase chemically fisted.
I always think that these sort of natural euphemisms for hair colours don't sort of make sense when you've spent the best part of a day in the salon, so chemically fisted is a more appropriate...
That's what you described that look.
Yeah.
How many pages of a magazine did you flip? Is it...
Oh, yeah, I want that one. That chemically fisted one.
No, in terms of...
Are you going to let the
By
roots...
Vidal Sassoon. Am I going to let the
Are
root...
you going to go with the root look?
Yeah.
Because that's a good look now.
What, council house mum?
Yeah. I love that look.
I don't...
You look like you're wearing a tiny hat if you get it at certain times.
Basically, bringing back this haircut.
He's bringing it
From
back.
the 70s.
Some people say it never went out now.
Wait, how long was it? How long did it take?
How long was...
The hair. How long did it take to...
A year? No, a day.
A day.
A whole day.
You
whole
don't
day.
have a lot of time to...
A whole day.
I went there early. I ended up having dinner with her and her housemates, and then I got drunk with them, and then I stayed almost into the next day.
So she actually did it in her home, in her own home?
Yeah.
Does she do that? So when people go around, they're either at risk of having their hair done.
People won't do that in a salon because they've got a reputation to uphold. So
Is there a back room in salons? Because quite often they have a glass front, don't they? And you can see people, but they're just the people having the normal stuff.
that's
but
a back street.
There's a back room.
Like a Vera
You want the real deal.
That's a Vera Drake hairdo. It's a back street situation.
I got it done illegally, basically.
My hair, I think the longest haircut I've ever had is about 14 minutes. This is pretty straightforward for me. You walk in, you ask for the Lego man.
That's so liberating. I'm really jealous.
Oh, I mean, the downside is I do look like Adolf Hitler, but like...
Oh, look, it's good looking,
look.
younger Adolf Hitler.
Thank you.
Yeah. But still a bit like...
Yeah, a little bit.
Do they have a back door? They throw you out if it's gone wrong. I imagine they can't send you out the glass at the front if it's gone wrong.
Put you in a burqa and kick you out the back.
I think they
I used
always try and convince you that it hasn't gone wrong, even when you're crying. I once had my hair cut so short I was crying, and the woman was going, "It looks amazing."
I used to get bleached.
What do you think?
Yeah. They'll never slag each other
all
off.
the mirrors.
Hairdressers never slag each other off as well. It's like an inner circle thing. Because if you go in and go, look, fix this, and
Oh, but they do
it looks
do
great.
that. Oh, who did this? Who did...
Yeah.
Who,
Oh, I've always found they're all a
Have
bit
you not?
like... It's like
Yeah.
magic circle, they won't... Because I used to have bleach on top of bleach on top of bleach, and in the end, I wanted... Who is it? Someone had, like, a sort of one blonde bit. Like, I don't know...
Lana
sort of 40,
Turner.
yeah, something like that. I
Do
wanted
you know
that
she had
sort
to
of look.
change it, and do you know why?
No.
Because women were copying it in the 40s, this look over the eye, and when they had to work in the munitions factories, they were getting their hair caught in the machinery and blowing themselves up.
Oh.
You know? But they were. It was a risk in the factories during the war when lots of women had to work factories. So they had to say to Lana Turner, "Can you change your hairstyle, please?"
Wow.
Can you put this hairnet on?
Yeah. Can you pose with this bomb? Yeah. As if you were working there.
It's hard to achieve that look because you do have to sort of obviously keep bleaching, especially if you just get a mate to do it in a bedroom. And in the end, it just snaps off.
It's not.
It just
£5,000. You know, but the thing is, I left my hairdresser and went to a different one after 10 years. And it was like I was having an affair. It was awful.
What, they were upset?
Really upset.
Yeah,
It was really awkward. And then
Yeah.
when I saw her again and someone else... Jay, you've been seeing someone else. Yeah.
Would she take you back for the odd trim?
Well...
That is so not a euphemism. If you're just going to do your own jokes, we're going to be here all night.
It was really weird. It was like... Yeah, she would, but I could see behind her eyes there was a slight anger.
Yeah, that she might...
Scissors in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about having a male vajazzling done, though?
No.
You're the only man in Britain that I can imagine would even attempt.
Could pull that off.
Oh, you know there's something going on down there.
Yeah.
You know there are lights and there's music. When he unzips his fly, it's amazing. The whole urinal is illuminated.
Oh, you think it's choir? I was thinking it was more Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful. That's what I think now.
It isn't, but it will be now.
And his little Willie pops out and goes, "I'm bringing this look back."
The helmet.
I used to do a bit in my act about... Steady.
Really?
I used to do a bit in my act about the shop next door to the hairdresser, because that's the place where you look, isn't it? When it's gone wrong and you've paid your money and you've got out as quickly as you can, and you can't even really face the mirror.
Yeah.
The place where you look is the window of the shop next door. Being next door to the hairdresser means you're constantly the people looking in your window going, "Ah!" Every day.
I was in a really weird car accident with a horse once.
The horse driving.
This will be in Dublin, right?
Well, we had checked it, and he was slightly more sober than me, so we thought you
hit a horse?
No, it was a hard situation. It was a fatality. It's not a very funny story, so I don't mind if I don't tell you. But I'll tell you if you want. Like,
I want to hear the one about the dead horse.
yeah. It was. I was coming
horse
back.
died or a person died?
A man died. So did a
Was
horse.
he on the horse?
No, it's weirder than that.
Was he walking on the pavement and you swerved to avoid a horse?
No, it's weirder than that.
Wow.
So I'm leaving. It's about. I did a gig in Cheltenham and I was driving back to London, and you've got to go on a sort of an unlit sort of A
There's a lot of
road.
A road before you get to the M4.
Right, exactly, the very one. It's undulating countryside. It's
Yeah.
quite dark. It was the summer months. It was balmy. I had the window open and I was driving along about midnight. It was like a Wednesday or Thursday. It's one of those ones where it's 3 lanes. We're 2 lanes here and there's 1 lane there, and then we'll be 1 lane. You know what I mean? Where they have the country road. So I'm driving up this.
I can't drive.
No,
You don't
need to drive. I was. Anyway, then I was changing into third gear. I was changing in third gear and I was applying for my tax desk. So I'm driving along.
Where's the horse?
Yeah, because so I'm driving along, and it's a really dark night, and I've got the window down, and I see this figure across the road from me, right? And I think there's something moving, and I start slowing down. Down to about 10 miles an hour, and I see it's a horse now. It's a massive stallion, like a steeple jumper. Like, I mean, I know very little about horse racing, but it's a Grand National.
Black Beauty.
Yeah, it's Black Beauty, but massive. I mean, these things are giant. It's silky black, massive horse.
Lloyd's advert.
Yeah, proper. Yeah.
I like your horse reference.
Yeah, all them. Those 2 horses. So it's got the undercoat. It hasn't got a saddle on. It's just got the under jacket. Yeah. So, and it's got the bridling around its neck, and it's foaming at the mouth, and its eyes are like really wide, and it's really skittish and angry, and I'm driving up the road. It's going up. We're going slowly up a hill, and it's on the opposite side of the road. Running at full. What's it called? Galloping. Tilt. Full tilt. It's going full tilt. I'm going. So as I slow down, it slows down, till eventually we both stop, right? And I'm like, what do I do here? I know nothing about horses despite my accent. Right, right. We had some ponies around my estate, but not this. This thing's. I get out of the car to soothe it or something, and it's twice.
It's a soothe.
Yeah, it's a soothe. Oh, cool, Matt D. Yeah. Something. I know. Horse whispering. Yeah, but obviously I'm. Calm down. Calm down. So I am. You've got stuff right. So just. Nay, it said nay, thrice nay. So I'm there now. I ring the cops, right? So it's stopped across the road, but unless it turns face to me, it just disappears. It's jet black, right? In black hedgerow, and it's a dark night.
Chameleon horse.
Yeah. Pretty much. So I ring up the old bill and go, listen, I don't know whether this is one of them things where I'm going to sound like I'm bothering your time, but there's a horse loose on the road.
They said, Mr. Maxwell.
You again.
Driving, are we?
You go, oh, no, that's dead serious. Tell us where it is. I gave them my location, all the rest of it as best I could. They were like, stay with the horse. I'm like, I'm not going near it. It's massive. They go, no, don't. Just stay in your car. And while I'm on the phone to the dispatcher, coming over the bridge of the hill, coming towards the horse, a van came forward, and the horse just panicked and leapt up on its hind legs and just boom, like 50-mile-an-hour van going down a hill, giant horse straight into it, just oblivion, just. And I'm still on the phone.
You're on the phone
to the dispatcher. I'm like, there was bits of horse everywhere. It's just it was carnage, and it all happened in the space of like a minute. Next thing I'm in this situation, the sat nav, one you stick on, exploded out of the cab of the lorry and landed smoking on my lap.
Oh God!
Right. There was glass, there was just everything everywhere, right? And I just stayed in the car, just what do I do? I get out and it's like the War of the Worlds. There's viscera everywhere. The van stopped at the bottom of the hill behind me, about 100 metres behind me. The cops, the fire brigade, they all show up. They're down there. And I'm just waiting at the top of this guy's sat-nav, right? It's surrounded by, clods of horse everywhere.
Mate.
Just horse everywhere. It was... So the cop, eventually, I walked down to this cop. Cop goes, did you see anything? And I was like, yeah, I'm the one who rang you. And he goes, right then, we'll have to take a statement. There's been a fatality. And I went, yes, the horse is dead. And he went, not the horse, mate. And as he's saying this, he's walking me around the front of the van to the cop car, right? And he walks me straight, and the entire front of the van is gone. And there's all that remains is an outline of the man. Get in the car, it gives out all the statement while we're still looking at this, right?
So
eventually,
it's gone through the front of the van. The driver's gone through the windscreen.
No, the horse went through the windscreen into him.
What's an outline of a horse in the front of the van?
There was shape of man. And I get to the end of it, and I'm like, I've watched Casualty. We've all watched Casualty. I get to the end of giving him my statement. He went, right then. OK, you all right? I went, I could really do a cup of tea right now. And he went, I'm not a cafe, mate. Off you go.
Wow.
Wow.
My God.
What would have been better if he'd have lifted his helmet up?
We have the bereavement cavity. Then I got a phone call a couple of months later from the coroner.
From Leicester Piggott.
Yeah, from the coroner. The coroner down in that part of the country, you know, proper like accent like that. And he went, you've got to come down to Gloucester and take part and all the rest of it. And I went, well, I'm at the Edinburgh Festival, but I'll happily cancel the shows and come down if there's any doubt over this man's innocence, because there was nothing he could do. I saw it all. And he went, oh, really? You can say that, can you? I went, I saw everything. And he was totally innocent and he could have done nothing. And he went, right then, brilliant. And that was it.
That was the end of that.
Yeah.
And that was it. He went, right, as long as somebody can say that that's what happened, and he was not... Because a horse was apparently owned by some extremely wealthy Arab dude, and the horse was worth like a couple of million.
I just can't get the image out of my head of the sort of chalk outline of the horse in the road.
The horse was in more pieces than could possibly be outlined.
So how did the horse escape?
Oh, he just somebody, like the country code, like you're always told. Close a gate that's closed, leave open a gate that's left open. Somebody left open a gate.
Oh, God, that's awful.
That was it. Ta-da! Sorry, I'm completely the comedy show.
You did warn us.
I ruined it, but it was just an
Extraordinary story, though.
extraordinary thing to be in. Like, I mean, and like life, it just all of a sudden you're swirled up in a situation.